greet you. I hope you're having a lovely day and that you are ready for tonight, as I'm about to invite our first guest to join. Tell me how you're doing. Be greeting and be inviting other people to come and join us in this live. We are definitely going to have I want to hear from you. So hi, how are you doing? And she's here. Hi Zandi. Yes, welcome. There you are. How are you? Let me see if I can try to greet you in Xhosa. Let's see how that will be successful. Molo Julie.
Molo, sis unjani?
Ndiphilile enkosi, unjani wena?
Ndiphilile enkosi kakhulu.
I think that just sounded perfectly. I somehow just want to try that again. So I'm going to greet you again and let's try this thing, okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, Molo Julie.
Molo sis unjani?
Ndiphilile enkosi, unjani?
Ndiphilile enkosi kakhulu.
Wonderful. Welcome. Thank you so much for honoring this invitation. Thank you for coming through. I'm just going to let the people to be joining in. They are coming in, as you can see.
Yeah.
Let them come in. Please do grab yourself a glass of water. You who's joining in online. Hi, Sipo. Hi, Ketogushe. Welcome to this live. We are going to have a very impactful time over here. And while they are coming in, I'm just going to have a little chat with Julie here. So, Julie, how was your day? Tell me about it. What did you do today?
It was good. I'm just in holidays now.
You're on holidays. We envy you. Hey, we've already started. We are already on the rat race.
Yes.
You're on holiday.
Yeah.
Okay, holiday from work or holiday from school?
From university. Woo! Yeah, holidays from university starting again Monday. I had a week. I just came back from South Africa. Well, 3 weeks ago. So.
And how was it? How was South Africa? Where about in South Africa did you come?
I was in Johannesburg, and then I went to Tembisa and Soweto this side, and then I flew to Zimbabwe, to Harare, and then I flew down to Cape Town, and I spent some time in Cape Town. It was amazing. And then we back up to Johannesburg, so didn't have time to go.
You went back up to Belgium.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Everyone, I've had the grace and the honor to actually meet this lovely lady when she was here in Cape Town. It was such an amazing time. Thank you again for agreeing to meet me. It was beautiful. And when are you coming back again? Sometime this year?
Yeah, surely.
Okay, wonderful. I think our people are in. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming through. Thank you, Mabela Karabo. You are welcome. You're welcome, guys. Welcome, Hurley. And I think we'll just shoot and go straight into it. Okay, so just a bit of a background. For those who are joining us for the first time, this is Lutando, who's also known as Lugcobo, and I am leading an organization. It is called Strength Within a Woman. And it's an organization that focuses solemnly on women who are entrepreneurs or aspiring to be entrepreneurs, or who are in the corporate space, you know, individuals who are even hoping or trying to figure out how can they venture out into entrepreneurship, into starting their own businesses. However, then this segment that you are part of today is called ProfessionXplore, because then we are saying, you who is already in the corporate space, what are other fields can you actually try out? Can you explore? Can you venture into? And you who is maybe a graduate who is yet to go into the field, or you who is still wanting to study, what are the options that you can study? Because truth is, times have changed, hey? We are an AI generation. My mom does not even know what that stands for. And when we were growing up, the most prestigious jobs have always been you being a doctor, you being a lawyer, you being a police, even a nurse, you know, all those mainstream type of professions, as I call them. But then we have come to a time where there's really a vast and, you know, an appetite that has grown, especially in our youth, to explore in other fields. So I thought, let me hop onto this opportunity to actually be part of others who are contributing to awakening our people, especially the youth, and also to bridge that gap between parents and children.
Yeah.
Because then parents, they still go out to say, you're going to be a lawyer. We are all your lawyers in this family, you know. I can't just be like, I want to be a graphic designer. What is that, you know? And you may be wondering, but it's a well-known profession. But I kid you not, especially in our cultures, they still don't know what that is. I am a graphic designer by profession, and my grandfather does not know what that is. He actually thinks I'm maybe someone who goes about drawing stuff. But anyway, I think the point I'm trying to make now, we are saying, how about if you want to venture into music, you know? And even in music, how about if you don't want to just be on stage and singing? What if you want to be a producer? What if you want to be a ghostwriter? Others are like, what is a ghostwriter? Exactly, you know, so we want to venture and talk about these different careers, you know. So in this Profession Explore, we're having these 5 weeks, and we're going to be talking to amazing experts in the field. We have a lady from Sweden, Vanessa Marco. She's in politics. Imagine, women in politics. As much as maybe back where you're coming from, it's a known thing. In South Africa, it's a little bit rare, you know, politics, construction, it's still fields that are still very much male, you know, dominated. So Julie here, everyone, is in the music industry, but I'll let her to introduce herself. But I just wanted to give you a bit of a background as to why we are here.
Yeah.
I think I did a bit of justice. So I'll hand over to you to just introduce yourself, your place of birth, if you like, your upbringing. Who is Julie?
Yeah.
Who is Kazeli?
People don't know me with this name, so let's just say Kazeli for now.
Okay.
Basically, I've lived my whole life in France until 18, and I actually grew up in a village where there was 100 people until I was 8 years old. So I was really in the nature from very young age. And then I went into a city called Stellenbosch, and I did a very basic upbringing, going to high school called the Lycée de Marlioz, and the school before. And then, yeah, after 18, everything went on, and I started to travel. And that's where I went to South Africa, and that's when I kind of found my way, because now you're speaking about profession, and it's really when I left school that I actually like knew what I was going to do. So
how did that come about, when between the time you left to come to South Africa to pursue in this industry? What was the inspiration? What was that light bulb? You know, what happened there? What was the transition like?
Yeah, so when I was 18, you know, after matric, I don't know if it happens to a lot of people, but like you kind of very confused. Like you get a degree, and then what are you going to do afterwards, you know? So I decided to go to South Africa to volunteer and to just say, like, let me go far away from home, then I can break all my cultures, rules that I kind of learned throughout my whole life. And then I went to work in an orphanage in KZN, in Mpangeni.
Oh, wonderful.
Ali Kababa. And then I did this for 6 months.
What were you doing there in the orphanage? What was your contribution?
Basically, we were just helping with the house when the kids were at school, and when they come back, then you make activities with the kids and, you know, just have fun with them. And I did this for 6 months, and that's kind of where I really knew that I was going to go into social, and also that I knew that I was going to go into music too. So yeah, it was just with this experience, and I really made it, blew my mind. Yeah.
Okay, would you like to tell us more about your musical journey?
Yes.
What kind of music, what genre is it? What's the inspiration? Just give us a bit of a rundown on your musical career.
So since I'm like probably 10 or 11, I used to always do covers of songs that I liked, and I used to also do some competition, but it was very small. It was like regional. And when I came to South Africa, I started to do Amapiano covers in Zulu and stuff.
In Zulu.
And
And in Xhosa and then in French.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Afterwards. So the covers, I used to only make them in Zulu, the first one. And people around me were liking it, and they're like, post it, film this, and post, you know, like for other people to see. And that's when the music started with covers. And I don't know, when I started to hear Amapiano in 2020, was it 2020, I think, that it blew. It was really much like everything my voice needed, everything my soul needed. It's super spiritual. And I just decided to actually try, because I didn't try much originals before. I liked singing other people's songs. I don't like melodies and writing songs. But here I was like, okay, let me actually try to see what is inside of me, what my soul and spirit speaks throughout the music. And I felt that this rhythm was the best for my voice and the one I enjoyed the most, because you can be soulful but still vibing and dancing into it, which is crazy, you know. So I started to do Amapiano with producers, well, South African producers, and until the time I left South Africa, which was a year ago. So
and how did you get in touch with these producers? How did you, the collaboration, how did it come about? And I'll tell you why I'm asking these questions. There are people here who would want to be in the music industry, but they are sitting here like me wondering, but how is it different, or how would I even break even in the industry in South Africa? Because it's not easy, number one. And who do you even contact these days? Who can you even trust? I'll give you an example without mentioning names. One of the popular musicians who we love so much, who just recently passed away, after her passing, there were controversies going around, you know, of monies that maybe she was owed, you know, how musicians, they can be so popular and worth, you know, so much, but when they die, they're left with nothing, such that some musicians, even the government has to intervene to even give them a proper burial. You know what I'm saying? So I want to understand the dynamics, because you can sit there and be like, yeah, so then I met that producer and then we did music and then boom. But I'm like, okay, but how did that come about? So is it how does it happen for someone who wants to enter into that space?
Yeah, it's actually a good question. It doesn't look like I'm a person that takes risks, but I do take risks. I go to South Africa, take taxis on my own, for example. This is, you know, like very much into this. So we were in lockdown, and I just wanted to meet people because I was really much alone. And I realized that, you know, I needed to find people. So via an Instagram page from the varsity I was in, which was Stellenbosch, I asked if people were making music, and there's this guy that was like, you know, I make music, I sing, and I make production. I'm like, he's in Stellenbosch, okay, let's meet up. But it was a boy, and I went to his res, because that's where producers make music most of the time in the beauty.
So practically, you made contact via a social media.
Yes, because it was, but and it's often, you know, how it is. But if people like have friends that are producers, or just, you know, if sometimes they go out, you can easily find producers right now. If you're a singer, well, when you're a producer, you want to approach singer, it's a little bit more difficult because there's less singer. But so yeah, that's kind of how I did it through socials. And then I met up with him, and then we started to make some songs, and then he had more songs with other producers. So I got contact there, and you know, everything went on and on and on afterwards. You just find more people with contacts. Yeah.
Okay. And I saw on your bio that you actually did some collaborations with some well-known artists from South Africa. If you like, I'll actually read to our viewers here. It says here, you know, you've collaborated with local producers such as Mashaya and Black Noise, and gained popularity in South Africa, amassing hundreds of thousands of streams on platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And you have a music video that earned features on Trace Africa and MTVbase. And aside from your original works, you are recognized for your covers that you post on your socials. And this is a part I'm also interested that. So then, is it from these contacts, you know, these producers, these guys you met and then started performing, how did you then, all the way to Trace Africa, all the way to MTVbase. There's someone who just commented here. I'll just paraphrase what the person was saying, that I wish I can also get my music to another level. So perhaps they are saying, I've already met maybe that one producer or there, but there's a bit of stagnancy.
Yeah.
But you are sitting here and you're saying you made contact and then you started music, but we're talking MTVbase.
Yeah.
So tell us about that journey. How did you get to that?
Socials again. To be honest, TikTok is the platform that made me blow up.
TikTok, okay. I hope you guys are listening. TikTok, okay.
That's definitely just the algorithm. You can be on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube. It's algorithm. But then also, I think what I did, it was my first original where I sang in French, but I sampled an old South African song. And then I think people just recognized it and they're like, oh, it's French, it's actually cool. And this was produced by two producers. They are like quite known in Cape Town. And that's how I kind of blew up, like just chance, to be honest. But for me, now kind of an influencer or someone from socials, the quality of the video is the biggest. Like more quality is in the video and more it's going to get viewed.
Okay. So then if I'm gathering correctly, it also has to do with that spirit of being a go-getter, because you made the first step of making these contacts. You went practically on social media to look for these producers or these artists, texted them, you know, so then you took that first step. Because again, like I'm saying, our people, they'll be asking how I sing. I even recorded, you know, but where to from here? Okay, so then practically you did the manual work. And then you also mentioned that when you're doing these videos, you know, quality works. I do have a clip of yours where you were doing a cover, and literally the video crystal clear, the voice. I was even wondering, are you singing with the mic? Because it's so clear, but I don't see a mic attached to you. Like, how did that even happen? You know what I'm saying? So then that speaks to the quality of your work, and obviously that draws attention. That speaks volume, because you could still have an amazing voice, but you did a video, poor quality. We're gonna obviously scroll up, you know. So then I think I'm just emphasizing on that for someone who's listening, to also say that while they are on the journey of getting their music out there, we're talking quality. Okay, so I'm taking that. And it says here on your bio, apart from music, obviously you're matriculated in France and majoring in maths, physics and biology. Here's an interesting one. It says here then you went to Stellenbosch University, which is in Cape Town, to study for a Bachelor of Science, Human Life Sciences, majoring in psychology, physiology and genetics, where she obtained, this lady, you guys, she obtained 17 distinctions and 2 golden keys. Okay, so she's not just an artist, she's an academic who's been doing great things in the academic space, and I'm loving it because also in ProfessionXplore, we are promoting academic excellence, and with the balance of saying, but you don't have to not pursue your other passions. And we started with the passion because your love is in music, but I'm loving the balance. You have an academic background, so we want to hear 17 distinctions. Oh, Samuel, if you know what that means, you know. So tell us about your academic journey. Genetics, human life sciences, majoring in psychology. I believe you're doing masters in clinical psychology. Okay, I'm taking a breath. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I think it was, for me, it was the biggest chance I could ever take, because now I finished with my gap year in 2018, 19, and then I just didn't want to stay in France. I wanted to go overseas, and I wanted to learn about psychology, but I love math and science and stuff. So I found the perfect bachelor in Stellenbosch, where you made, like, you do kind of half biology, half psychology, the one I did, BSc Human Life Science. And I got into, like, miraculously, I got into it because my English was not that great at that time. Just being at 18 years old, I couldn't speak English. So after, like, in 2019, like, it was only a year I started learning English. And yeah, I spent 3 years there, but the 2 first years were locked down, and I was living alone in my flat, because as an international student, you can't get into residences, so you have a private accommodation. So for 2 years, I was sitting in my room, and all I had to do was studying and making music. I literally had no one to for. You know, I was just
So
doing.
why psychology?
I think I like solving problems, but people's problems, because I'm social too. You know, I didn't want to solve math problems. I want to solve problems of everyday life from
Okay.
people. Yeah, that's what I wanted to go. And I love physiology also, like the link between like your mental, like how you keep your mental health clear and your hormones and all your
Yeah.
physiology clear. How does it affect your mental, you know, your.
Okay. There's a question quickly here that I want to attend to. Someone is asking, did you have funding? How did you go about your
Yeah.
studies? And she even said, because some of us are unfortunate, and I understand where she's coming from. So how did you get to Stellenbosch University, and did you obtain funding, bursary? How did you go about that?
So I did not get bursary, and France do not offer bursary for going to South Africa. So I had fundings from myself from working. To be honest,
Okay.
I was working in France, and I also like took a loan, and my parents were also helping. So this
Okay, but are there funding opportunities, bursaries that people could get
there
for that kind of a course?
there is, but if you're South African, mostly if you're South African, I'm not too sure. I haven't really looked at bursaries because I'm international. So, but I mean,
Okay,
NSFAS is there. There's other accredited
definitely.
bursary tickets and merit bursaries and stuff like this.
Yes.
I'm really
Okay.
not, because it's
Fair enough. Fair enough.
yeah.
It's okay, fair enough, because you're South African. The person that asked there, let's take this further. So feel free to inbox me on this page and we'll explore our bursaries together. Another question was, how did she balance her academics and passions? That's a question from your people. So tell us, how did you balance? Because we're hearing 17 distinctions here. So how
Yeah,
did you balance?
I think so at that time music wasn't hectic, I'm just saying, it wasn't that
Okay.
hectic. But how I could balance it is that, you know, I couldn't fail. I was like not failing because I couldn't have another year because my visa was only 3 years, and then I wouldn't have fundings for another year. So I think I was really like driven to really do well in order to.
Driven.
And I had this thing of like, you only sleep for 6 hours. You have from 8 to 5, you work on your studies, and then from 6 to 12 at night, you work on your music, or you know.
Okay,
That's how
so
you.
so you had your own time structure that was, like a reminder as to you have so much time to rest and you have so much time to work. I think this is a good one, you who's listening there, because I know my people. They like their sleep. Oh, I do like my sleep too, but as an entrepreneur, I understand that some days I'm not going to get 8 hours of sleep, and that's okay. So actually, I'm glad you're mentioning that. And also, I'd like to concur on the part where you say you could not fail. You see, Lou Jacobs is laughing there because he knows what I'm talking about. So I like when you're saying that you could not fail. So it is that awareness that this is your only shot.
Yeah.
So that's good for you to mention, because then what happens is this, and I know this for sure because I've been a student, and I'm a student again this year. I'm trying to finish and pursue my master's. So kudos for academic excellence once again there. But I understand when you are saying that, that constant awareness and reminder, because when we get into school, we can just go with the flow and the vibe such that we even lose sight of why are we here and how long did we prepare ourselves to be here. That is why we get others who get into varsity. Next year, they're changing course. The other year, they're joining some, I'm not going to mention names, but some organizations in the universities that make them somehow to derail from their studies. So many things. Students can really attest to that. Boom, they spend 5-6 years in university for a diploma. So I'm glad you're mentioning that drive and constant awareness as to why you are here and how you cannot fail. You have so much time to finish, this degree or your master's that now you are currently pursuing. Now, I have a question for you. For someone who's saying, I want to pursue clinical psychology. I don't even have an idea what that is. So I want to ask you as a student, in fact, guys, I'm going to confess, I'm going to be very honest. Clinical psychology. So in my head, I'm hearing the word clinical. So I'm already seeing some sort of a clinic. And then psychology. So perhaps a psychology that works in a clinic. And I know I'm not the only one who's thinking this way. you know, so no judgments whatsoever. But you tell us about it. What is clinical psychology?
Well, you know, it's very interesting because it actually changes according to the countries and what it means. So even myself, okay, why do you put the clinical? You're just a psychologist, you know. But I think in South Africa, what it means the most to be a clinical psychologist is that you can really work in every like clinics or hospitals. You can also work in organizations, like really much everywhere, you know. Whereas in neuropsychology, psychologists, they will only do like tests. So then they won't really be in an organization, you know, they will more be into clinic also. So I think clinical psychology is the most broad like way to see as, you know, psychology. And it's not like a therapist where it they can stay in a private cabinet, but then, you know, it's not much used to this for clinical.
But what would you say psychology is? Remember, we're talking to people who are not in these fields. I'm in informatics and design myself. So we want to bring it really, really, really down. So what is psychology? What does a psychologist do?
Well, psyche is the mind, you know, is the psyche.
Okay.
So it's like healing the mind, kind of.
Okay.
So
what way?
You will go to a psychologist if you have mental health illness or just you're not feeling well mentally, and then they will give you therapeutic advices to make it better. Yeah.
Okay. So then would we say it's like a GP but of the mind?
Yes, but it's yeah, I would say it is, to be honest.
Okay. So I understand it, but like I'm saying, we're talking to an audience here who may not have an idea, you know, and also because anything that has to do with the psych or psycho this, whether it's psychiatrist or psychology, you know, there's always stigmas and stereotypes attached, you know, such that none of us would want to agree that we are in need of a psychologist, because somehow immediately we feel or think like we're mad, or you know. In fact, anyone can talk freely about, oh, I'm going to see my gynecologist, oh, I'm going to see my dietitian, but you rarely find some, oh, I'm going to go see my psychologist, because like, oh, what's wrong with her mind, you know, like, is she going nuts, you know? So then I'm asking this because we also want our people to be able to just know that actually, just like the same way you are able to treat your body, you go to a year checkup, or you go to a nutrition and whatnot, a mind is a part of your body that also needs taking care of. So we want to come really to that level of saying, so this is what psychology is, and this is what people who are psychologists do. And so I think what I would want to ask, for someone who wants to study that course, what are the types of subjects that you guys do there, modules, you know, just an idea. Remember, this is a ProfessionXplore, like a career fair online. So we want to also know, like, okay, so what are the subjects that are normally rendered in your type of a course?
Well, it depends. There's a BSc psychology, or there's BA psychology. So it's basically like BSc would be math and physics and biology.
What does BSc stand for?
Bachelor of Science, and Bachelor of Arts. So Bachelor of Arts, you could get, I'm not too sure exactly which subject you guys have in grade 12, but I think it would be...
It's normally physics, biology. Our people can comment. South Africans, what do you study when you, what would you have had to study when you want to do psychology? I think it's physics and biology and maths. I stand to be corrected.
Going to be a C, but BA, you can get into, I don't know if you have literature in high school, you have philosophy. No, you don't. No, you don't. Probably
English,
philosophy.
more or less, yeah. Okay.
Definitely. So then you have really two branches, because psychology is very broad in the sense, like, as I said, be in the clinic, then you can see the most medical side as a clinical psychologist, but you can also be like a therapist, where you actually have more philosophy in the way you speak to people.
Correct.
And just, you know, you can also form yourself after you've done your 6 years, I think it's 6 years in South Africa, to like therapy or other kind of like games or meditation that would help you clients to feel better. Because that's all, to be honest, we just heal people without medication. Heal the mind.
Heal without medication. Wonderful. Okay. That's
prescribed. Yeah. I think in South Africa, some like do, but they like send the person to a GP for them to give them the medication, but the psychologist is not allowed to give medication. So like you have to take the time to like
Yes.
life of someone for them to feel better after a while, like whatever it can be. Yeah.
That's a good one. So have you started practicing? Have you started doing some in-service training, like we call them here in South Africa?
I'm starting Monday for my first one. My first
You're starting Monday,
yeah.
guys. Okay, that's you're starting on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay. And when are you finishing your master's in clinical psychology?
Next year June. Next year
Next
June.
year June.
No,
Okay.
I'm lying.
Next year June.
Yes.
Don't lie.
Not
You live. You cannot lie.
Sorry, not this year. Next year.
Next year. Okay, no, well done on your studies. Well done on that. Okay, so you just told us a bit about your music, and then you told us now, you told us now about your academic background. Now, just to bring it all together, I'm just going to ask then, what are the challenges that you have come to face? You know, we can start from the music side, because in South Africa, I do know that the music industry can be a very cruel path. To be part of community, if you like, and people really can attest to that. Like I gave you an example of how our musicians, they end up, you know, being exploited, you know, the works. So what are some of the challenges that you have faced, especially you're also a woman and you are not even in South Africa? I can just imagine. So maybe you want to share us about that. Someone is saying, can she sing now? Oh. Maybe we can try to convince her at the end of this segment. But tell us, challenges, ma'am, as a musician. We'll start there.
I think the first one was the one you said, is being a woman. You know how many very big artists that contact me and ask for my number, and I don't know how many has gotten my number to just flirt with me, to be honest. Because firstly, I'm a woman. Secondly, I'm French. So like people, you know, they like to have a French woman, you know, from Paris, towers. So I think that was the most challenging thing, because afterwards, you know, I get into it. Like I'm okay with confronting people. You know, if they don't get things done or whatever, I'm okay with confronting people. But just to get to see what the person really wants from me. And I think that's a lot of artists, even male, that are known, because there's so many people coming to them is for what? Money? Are they coming to them, or just music? You know, so you don't really know about this. But people in South Africa, it's just crazy how much they want to work, especially in music, how much they want to share things. They're so humble. They give contacts from everyone and stuff, you know. But things don't get done sometimes because like they say something and it doesn't get done, then you still all have the contacts and you're all together. That's beautiful, I think.
Okay, so in the art itself, what are the challenges you can say you faced?
Me,
in the art
finding
itself.
Yeah, finding yourself, finding your voice, and putting the French into Amapiano is, no one hear this. So like how can you make it sound correct, you know? Yeah, so that's my
And have you faced any organizational, collaborative type of challenges? Because I want to, of course, talk about the soft, you know, but I want to also talk about the hard, as in, when I'm saying soft, I mean, I'm thinking of software and hardware. That's just me trying to say the non-tangible type of challenges, but also practically, maybe collaboration-wise, or those types of practical challenges that you can say you faced as an artist.
Yeah, actually, the first one, Resto Toi, the biggest song I've made, we were meant to have someone, firstly. It was someone's beat, but then this person asked for way too much in terms of splitting, because you split your royalties. The royalties is what you get from the song, and because we saw that it was going to be big, then you know, we have to release it, but now we have to think about the split of how much percent do each of us have, you know. And the person that he really wanted a lot, and we just decided to remake the entire beats in order for him to not be in, because it was just going to be a mission. So that's what we did. But I think people are very chilled in terms of remuneration, but I haven't done that big song. I know there's a lot of stories going on, like didn't really, like, in terms of copyright or royalties. There was also like videos about Maphorisa speaking about the fact that if you come into his studio, it's his song, and there was a big story about this. And I think
who decides on copyrights and royalties?
I think there's laws in South Africa as much as there's in France. In France, it's very strict, so people don't speak about it. 50 the person that wrote the song, and 50 the person that put the chords in. In South Africa, I think, but no one follows them because we're doing our own thing. So I think it's according to how much you can get with the people you're collaborating with. For us, it's me, how I work is like always say 50-50, or how many people is in the song. It's 4 of us, 24%, 25% each, you know. So it really depends. Yeah.
I see. Okay, you have someone here who's saying they absolutely love your accent. Thought I should point that out. And there's someone who's laughing at me for software and hardware because I'm I'm the person in the information. So I asked about software and hardware. Anyway, no judgments here. So I think as we are wrapping up, I want to ask what is your next move? Your album? Are you having a tour coming up? What's on the pipeline?
Yeah. Well, if I had for yet I don't have tour or album. I still want to find my way, but what I'm trying to now bring up is in Europe. So it might take a little bit more time than in South Africa because the sound is, you have a Amapiano, but it's it's not really spiritual Amapiano.
y'all.
And so that's what it will be, more European Amapiano kind of vibe. And yeah,
so you want to take Amapiano to Europe?
Yes.
I wonder what would it be called? Le piano.
No, you need to keep the Zulu name, eh? We will keep the Zulu name. Growing this side. It is growing. Yeah.
Okay, so I think in closure, I want us to just talk a bit about your, the inner, the soft guys, the software. Okay, so yes, there's a question here. Before I go to the software, and this question says, what way do you charge? Let's say you get a booking and they ask how much you charge. Do you tell them, or do you have something in writing?
So I first get to know how far it is, what is the kind of events, because if it is something for a school, something, you can see that people are just, don't really have the money. You won't charge as much as other people. Like weddings, for example, you can go for it because people put the budget into it. Like, I'm not here to make people, take their money, because my first thing is to sing. I pursue a job on the side, and that's my main financial coming, but then the music is just for fun. But at the same time, I'm still an artist, so I still need to get paid. So there's really a charge, an amount that I can say now. It really depends.
Okay, so I think the person would just want to understand the structure. Okay, so for someone, because remember I said for you it may be just a pursuit of passion, but you have a career in psychology. But for someone who may want to have music as their main source of income, so then these questions are quite important. So I think my question would be, so then do you rather first SAS, as in check out what kind of an organization or request is it, so that you can see if, to guide how to charge. But now let's say even when you've done the checking out, what is then the way? Do you send, do you invoice, do you, I don't know. So still after you've decided, how do you go about it anyway? And then do you do upfront 50% or 100%, practically?
How it should be, but it doesn't happen like this all the time. It's like you would send an invoice. In Europe, I think I will start making contract though. And you send invoices to people, and usually in the invoice you have a deposit of 50, but I don't think I would put 50%, probably 30%, and you put a deadline, and if it's not paid by this deadline, then you won't be booked, the show will be cancelled. So that's what you do. You just ask them for the email, you send the invoice, they send you back the thing. Often they also ask you for your technical material that you need, and you need to first, before you send the invoice, to be sure that everything is able to be working, you know.
Okay, I think that's a good point.
Yeah, all
That's a good
the
point.
appliance that you need, if they have everything. And also, yeah, if the event is suitable for you. Sometimes there's people asking you for such events, and like, you know, it's
Okay.
yeah.
So I think if I could comment, because I do have a bit of background in the music industry as well, I think if I could comment, I would say this is what I used to do, or I still do, because I still do other events, not necessarily even in music. But then, like you said, you first check what kind of an what kind of a request is it, you know, and what kind of an organization, whether it's an organization or a company or a person individually, you know, so that you can check what is in demand, what are they trying to achieve. Is it just business for them as usual, or there is a goal that has to do with them maybe giving back? So then you check those, so that should inform you how you should charge
Yeah.
them. And this is important for me because I'm also a person who always desires to give back. So if I'm approached by an organization that is trying to raise funds, of course I'm not going to charge them. Chances are I'm not even going to charge them. In fact, I'm going to contribute and then still come. You know, so then it also depends why you're doing music. If it's just solely a business, and then also the person who's requesting you, why they're doing business. Then secondly, which is what I think is important, you mentioned, check also this event. Does it align even with your values, your morale? You know, does it, because then they can maybe afford, you know, to pay you to come, but then only to find out they're not even maybe promoting something that you actually align with. You know what I'm saying? For an example, let's say I can get paid 50K to come and be an MC at an event where they are promoting, I don't know, unfortunately, I'm going to mention this, same-sex marriage, because I'm not really for that in South Africa in particular. So I'm not going to take part in that, and no judgment whatsoever, because I'm just not going to come. But I'm not going to go against it. I'll just not take part, you know. So then you want to check, you know, such things. So I think that was important for you to mention. So then I think I would ask you, as we're closing, like, what do you do then when you feel stuck? Because let's say people, they have heard you, they have gotten answers to their questions, but now, and then they are also in the journey, whether in studies or in their passions. What do you do when you get stuck as a musician, whether in a writer's block, or your voice is gone for whatever reason, or you're just feeling so downcast, realities of life, you know? What do you do when you're feeling overwhelmed? What do you do when you, how do you inspire yourself?
Yeah, no, I get you. I think it depends. I think in music I get very frustrated very often of like, oh, this is not sounding nice. Oh, this is not what I like, and get very frustrated. And then I think if I like just take a break for a while, or like can be a few days and stuff, and just think about what is the future that I really want.
Okay.
What is that?
Take a break.
Just to remind you why you started, you know. Even to write it down is it's great, of like, you know, why do you do what you're doing? Because you don't have to, you know, you don't have to be doing this. But I think it's different when it comes into jobs and stuff, because like I'm really driven by psychology and be like, you know, helping people and stuff. So I don't really feel down. If I get a bad mark, I'd be like, okay, let me work harder to be, you know, to
Okay.
have do it. But yeah, when it comes to music, because it's for me, then I have to remind myself why I'm doing this. And I think,
Remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, great. Okay, that's good. So then that very same thing that would have put you down becomes your stepping stone indicator of some sort, that, okay, just remember why you're doing what you're doing, why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, that's a good one. And then what would you say is your greatest motivation?
making the world a better place. Definitely.
Making the world a better place. I don't know if that's cute or cute.
I don't know.
Making the world a better place.
Yeah, it's just like whatever I do in my life is to be better. And I don't know, to have kids that are good, you know, and to make the world, make people feeling happy, and just, yeah, around me, it's like this. But me first, you need to kind of heal yourself or make yourself feel good, then you can serve, you know.
definitely. I like your point. Heal yourself. You feel good. Be well so that you can also heal. Because then there is a saying that I like that goes, not necessarily a saying, but something I've been told that I took as some sort of a motto, that you can only give as much as it has been given to you. I think to some extent it's biblical, so you can only pour out as much as it has been poured into you. So if you are empty and you are dry and you are all sorts of things, that's exactly what you're going to pour out. So it's good that you be well so that you pour exactly from the abundance of that wellness. So I like definitely what you are saying. Yeah, any word of encouragement for our audience before we depart? And we didn't forget that there's a request for you to sing, and that's not me. That is not me. Hey, it's your people. But any word of encouragement before we let you go, Kazeli?
Yeah, I think the word of encouragement is that if you're doing something that you really want to be doing, keep doing it, but keep progressing. Okay. Keep seeing bigger. Keep looking at the thing bigger, And something that really helps me is people around. So more you're surrounded with good people. Without South Africa, would be nothing today, to be honest. And without good people around, to be honest, it's just like hard. So if you find yourself good people around you and you keep progressing and keep knowing what you're doing, then it will be fine. It'll be fine.
Wonderful. Okay,
yes.
Thank you so much for that contribution. And are you going to grant the lovely request a line or two?
I'm scared to.
Especially in Zulu, Xhosa, whatever. We want to hear that.
I'm learning. I'm learning.
Okay.
I don't know if people, I was going to ask people to tell me a song, but
quickly now, people, tell her a song.
But I forget my lyrics often, so I need to, if there's people that wants to.
Okay, how is that one of, while they are checking it out, that one that is popular on your TikTok?
Oh, it's We Plan.
Okay, how does it go? French, quickly.
Oh, I forgot about this.
So you forgot your own language on this one.
I forget my lyrics very often because I do so much. They ask me if I haven't really learned the lyrics on this one though.
Oh man, wonderful. Thank you so much for your contribution. Guys, Julie was our first guest in this ProfessionXplore, and she's the one who is in music and also who's doing her master's in clinical psychology. She's from Belgium. And now we have 4 segments to go next week and the following weeks after that for the whole of February. Next week, we are going to be going into politics with Vanessa. She's from Sweden. Woo! She's heavy. So you want to connect? Julie will be connected. We're going to talk about politics. She's actually an advisor to a political, to the, what do you call these things again? To the mayor of Malmo. So yeah, we want to, and maybe, okay, but I'll keep that for now because she's also a DJ. Somehow she's in music. And I think I wanted to close it in this way. Julie, tell the people, how did we meet? How do we know each other?
Lutando is my closer teacher. And we're still having lessons to go in, eh?
Yes, we have 3 lessons to go.
Yeah, but I've been learning because Duolingo, there's Zulu in it. So then I'm learning Zulu, but then I learn the difference in Xhosa, So yeah, Lutando has been my Xhosa teacher, and very proud of all you're doing. And I'm really happy you invited me for this. I don't really do live in general, but that was so much fun.
Oh man, we were lucky. Thank you so much. And people are congratulating you here for your academic journey and your distinctions. And here, Emily is actually saying, that Ainsley, sorry, that I'll definitely make a dance video on one of your songs. Please do tag us when you do that.
Yeah.
Tag Julie, tag me. I'll definitely share that. But thank you very much. Thank you, Julie, again, for making time to engage with us. People have been tuning in. They've been joining. People have been joining since we started. So thank you. I think we started on a high note. And all the best with your masters. I'm right after you on that one. And also your musical journey. Continue on that. All the best. And we can't wait to have you again in South Africa.
Yes, soon.
Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining, and thank you for watching. Share this live with others as well. I hope you did learn a thing or two, maybe got an inspiration for what you're going to do next, whether in music or even in psychology. And yeah, let's meet next week again on the same platform. And I'll definitely communicate the times on our page. You can like the page and also get some notifications there. We're going to be talking politics next week, and also with Vanessa from Sweden. Thank you very much. I think that's it for me. We're going to love and leave you guys. Bye.